Hello, welcome to this session. So in this session, we'll be talking about how to create a table. So creating a table is something that is common in HTML. So in order to create a table, you would use this table tag. Then you can see this table acts as a container. So a table normally have table head. It has the body and the table footer. So this is normally the convention used to group them together. So let's create a table head, then create a table body, which we call T body. Then let's create a table footer, which we call the T footer. But most times it's not used. So in the table head, you know that table comes in rows and column. So we'll be creating a table row. If you want to create a row, you simply use the tr. So we have created a table row. Then there's something called if you want to start putting the data inside the row. So you'll be creating columns for each of them. So each column is represented with a th. So let's put the first one th. So let's call this name. Let's just create a simple table to understand how to create table. Then let's create another th here. Let's just call it age. So this is the table header. Then inside the table body, this way you start filling in the details about the table. So you create a row. Then for the body, instead of using th, we use td. So I'll create a td. Let's just call it John Doe. So John Doe. Then create another td. The age of John Doe is 25. So you can see this created a row here. You can see the name here, the John Doe here. Then you can see the age. So to add another row below it, all I simply need to do is to create another tr here. Then I'll use a td to add the name. Let's say Mary Ben. Then Mary Ben, I'll create a td is 19 years. You can see that it's appearing here. So inside our table footer as well, we can just create a row for it. Then we place a td, which you can call I don't even know, this is not even supposed to have a row for that, but to just show you, I'll just put nothing there. Then for the second one, I'll simply put nothing. So we normally use this table footer. Let's assume you're creating a table of accounting or something. Maybe in the table footer I want to put the total of their age or total of a product or all that. That's where this table footer is being used most of the time. But if it doesn't, your table doesn't require it, you can as well just clean the table footer. Most times in HTML we normally use the table head and the table body. So this is how to create a simple table in HTML. So the remaining of the rest of it is done with css when you want to start styling the table to make it more beautiful and all that. But there's something else you can add to this table, which is the border. So I'll just come to this table and give it an attribute and give it a border of let's say border of 1. So you can see that this our table now has a border. So there is something again called rowspan and colspan. So rowspan is just talking about how many rows our table is going to span. So let's just make adjustment to our table so that you can understand the row span and column span. So as you can see, So row span is about spanning the rows, then the column span is about spanning the columns. So let's just create a new th here. So let's call this one is the first name, then let's call this one the last name. So as it is now, you can see that we are having three columns here: the first name, the last name, and the age. So normally the first td is going to represent the first column, then the second td is going to represent the second column, and we don't have the third one. So let's make adjustment to what we have here with colspan. So inside here, I'll just write a colspan. Then I want it to span through two columns, so I'll give it a colspan of 2. So as you can see, this John Doe is now spanning through the first and last name, and the age is now 25. So we can still do the same thing for the for Mary. We give it a colspan of 2. You can see it's now looking very good. Then I can give this one an additional td so that it will match whatever we are having, because we now have 3 columns instead of 2. We see how to create span through columns with column span. So any if I put something like 3 here, for example, you see it's going to span through 3 columns. So for it to match our table that we created with the t head and all that, so let's just make it on 2. So let's talk about row span. So let me just simply clean this, then clean this one as well, to make it less complicated for you to understand. So we don't need the t footer, I'll just simply eliminate the t footer, then remove this. Let's just call this some name instead of first name and last name, so you can actually understand what is going on here. I just want to make it very simple, or we can still keep it. Let's keep the first name and last name. So we have the first name John, then the last name as Doe. So let me modify this one as well. Control V. Let's create a td. Control V. So you can see what we are having here. But if I want in a situation whereby I want this John here to be in this column and also in this column, so that means I won't be having this Mary will not be needed again. I'll delete this Mary, then I will go to the td of John and give it this row span, the attributes of row span. I can give it a row span of 2. You see how it's looking. So this John is now spanning through 2 rows. It's spanning through for the T body through the row 1 and row 2. So these are ways this is how to create a table in HTML.